Interesting title. Age of Extinction. Well, the extinction of the Transformers franchise would be nice right about now. Nope. Fifth one's out in 2 years. Hello everyone, welcome to this review of Transformers Age of Extinction, or Transformers 4, whatever. Okay, so the fourth Transformers movie directed by Michael Bay, and you can tell immediately from the get-go that this is a different Transformers movie completely. Let me just move that out of the way. So, the story is no shit a la bed, no sneezy la beef, no snoozy la pork. He's gone, he's out of the picture. So is Rosie Huntington-Whiteley. She was never, you know, going to stay in more than one film. This time, basically the plot is the government are it's set after the Battle of Chicago, which is in the events of the Dark of the Moon, and the government are looking for the Transformers, any of them, Autobots, Decepticons. They're looking for all of them to basically wipe them out, get rid of them, because they feel that basically kind of the us and them kind of rule. And along the way, and they later discover that Optimus Prime has been hiding in this sort of mechanic inventor guy in his garage, and his name's Cade Yeager, played by Mark Whalberg, Marky Mark. And this whole thing about him, you know, and his daughter, they're kind of broke at the moment. Cade buys the truck off of this guy who is incredibly annoying. I think he's TJ Miller, that guy. Yeah, and there's this whole thing about putting his daughter through college. I mean, ultimately, you don't really give a crap, so I'm not going to mention any further about that. And then it's really about... Then there's this whole thing about KSI, not the YouTuber, this whole company called KSI, who are taking this technology called Transformium. Sorry. And that is run by Stanley Tucci, and he is trying to... They are basically rebuilding... They are building Transformers like Galvatron. They are building this Transformer named Galvatron, and you know, there's this whole other thing about stopping the Decepticons from getting this seed or something. It's called a seed, but it looked like the Matrix of leadership. So, I mean, yeah, a bit of a confusing plot. Like there's like 2 or 3 different plots going on at the same time. It's a bit hard to keep track, and then the movie just carries on. Yeah. Okay, so Transformers 4. I only wanted to go and see this purely on the change of cast. The reviews did look bad, and to be honest, I can kind of see why. I mean, it's got... I'm going to be honest, actually, I didn't hate this movie. I thought that there were decent things in it. I mean, there were some good ideas, like... I mean, there were some interesting things in there, like about the Dinobots were cool. They were cool. Like, they didn't appear until the end, but they were still cool. I liked exploring, you know, the father-daughter relationship between Cade and Tessa, I believe her name is. Yeah, Nicola Peltz. It makes such a change from having, you know, shit on a bed, just shouting Optimus. And, you know, I'd rather have a relationship, you know, with Mark Whalberg and his daughter than, you know, with Shittlebed and his parents. Oh, God. I mean, they're out of the picture. So, this is the least annoying Transformers film, I'll say that much. But it is by far the most bloated. I mean, look at that runtime. This movie is just way too long. It's 2 hours 45 minutes. That is exactly the same runtime as The Dark Knight Rises. And I profess, you know, I mean, the Transformers movies get longer each time. And I mean, Transformers 5, is that going to be like 3 hours? Oh my God. I mean, I can tell that this is a very different Transformers movie. I mean, the opening was quite cool, seeing how the Transformers sort of... it was a bit of backstory about how the Dinobots were created, so that was quite cool to see. Yeah, but most of the movie is just battles, and it's just more of the same, you know, dogfights that we see in the previous 3 movies, just cranked up to, like, it's really high octane, and this is like the biggest, like the highest octane Transformers movie yet. I mean, it's, again, characters, just crap. I mean, well, Mark Wahlberg's character was good. I mean, thank God that Shia LaBeouf wasn't in this film, because seriously, it would have made the movie much worse, but thankfully Mark Whalberg is a decent character, and the whole father-daughter relationship, there is actually a believable chemistry there. You actually believe that he is, you know, committed to trying to save his daughter, and she, you know, you can tell that their relationship's a bit rocky, but there is a sense that, you know, they do have a kind of a bond there. Just some unnecessary characters as well, like that guy, I think his name's Lucas, and, you know, he dies very early in the movie anyway, so it doesn't really matter, and yeah, spoilers, I don't really care. Also, the daughter's boyfriend, he wasn't really necessary. He didn't really bother me too much, it was just the fact that he didn't really need to be there. But, you know, hey-ho. Sorry, I thought I saw something. Sorry about that, I had to do something. Yeah, the boyfriend, he wasn't really necessary to the plot. I mean, Stanley Tucci was a good character, pretty funny. Speaking of the humour in this movie is just childish. It's not as over the top as, you know, Revenge of the Fallen was, but there is still some childish humour in there, and yeah, the bloody explosions, God. And yeah, there's the whole thing about Michael Bay's portrayal of women. You know, there is actually a scene during the beginning where Mark Wahlberg says to his daughter, you know, put some proper trousers on. The camera just lingers on her rear end, and yeah, it's the blatant, you know, it's the typical Michael Bay portrayal of women. I'm not gonna lie, I like the action sequences; they were great. I mean, it was only really the first half of the movie that did the whole same Michael Bay thing, but it's just getting boring now. It's just the same old. It's just the same old thing, really. I mean, it's not terrible. There's certain things in there that I liked, like Mark Whalberg, and the action was cool, but there was too much of it. The movie could have ended a lot sooner. There was like 138 different climaxes. I mean, it's just bloated. Although it's nice to have a British cast member, Sophia Myles. That's good. It's always good. But in the end, I'm just getting tired of this franchise now. I mean, it needs to end, but hey, never say die when it comes to Transformers. The door is left open for a 5th one, and Optimus Prime has the cliche speech at the end, and then boom, credits. Yeah, this does sort of feel like a bit of a reinvention, but it is actually still a sequel because they do reference the things that happened in Dark of the Moon, which is, I guess, good for continuity purposes, but hey ho. But yeah, it's just mostly the same. Way too loud, way too long, too much action, and just some annoying characters that just don't do anything. John Goodman voices one of the Autobots, and he is awesome. He does kick some ass. Yeah, there's couple of redesigns, like with Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. They're cool. The soundtrack is awful as well, apart from one moment when they reuse the theme that they used for the first one. Transformers, the soundtrack is bad. Like, it's rubbish. I didn't like it. It didn't really fit well. I think some of the themes were kind of cliche as well. Like, I much preferred the soundtrack to like Dark of the Moon, or, I mean, at least Revenge of the Fallen had a decent soundtrack. I mean, you know, this was the worst soundtrack of any of the Transformers movies. And the whole thing about the Transformium is just stupid. Like, I don't know, the whole science kind of subplot was kind of annoying, and yeah, but no, I profess the only thing that is going to save Transformers is if they change directors, because, you know, Michael Bay does not have a bloody clue what he's doing. It's badly directed. It's badly directed. No one's arguing that. I mean, we've seen this 3 times already, and this is the 4th time, and it's just like, I mean, it was a cool film in terms of visually, and the action was cool, but the spectacle was really awesome. But beyond that, it's just all it is now is spectacle. Like, I can watch Transformers just casually, you know, fun time. You know, that's what it was. I mean, luckily in this movie's favour, it's probably the most straight Transformers movie since the first one. Like, it hasn't got as much of the annoying humour and the sexual and racist stereotypes and the bleary portrayal of women as it has for the number 2 and 3. I mean, there is that in there, but it's not as much, which is good. That's a good plus. Story, it wasn't structured very well. There was just too many subplots, and it just didn't work for me. But yeah, no, and Marky Mark is a much better hero than Shia LaBeouf. I can't stand shit to the bed. He's so annoying. Thank God that Cage didn't shout Optimus. Like, seriously. Oh God. It doesn't really bring anything new to the table apart from cast members. And yeah, that's it. Stanley Tucci's funny as well, so that's good. In the end, I'm going to give Transformers: Age of Extinction, I'm going to give it 5 out of 10. Actually, no. Yeah, no, yeah, 5. Yeah. Doesn't get any more than that. I just don't really, because of the action was really cool, and Stanley Tucci was funny, and Mark Whalberg is good. But apart from that, it's just nothing. It's just exactly the same. So, and it's so long. Like, it's way too long. Like 2 hours 45. I mean, that's really pushing it. It's really scraping the edge of the barrel, Michael Bay. It's just like there's no care and attention that's been put into this. Everything is just dumped on screen, and yep, it's starting to annoy me now. I mean, it's not like, I mean, I can watch them, but I just don't think that they're anything special. I don't think that this is like, I don't know if this is the worst Transformers movie. I don't know. That is what I was going to mention. I am going to rank all 4 Transformers movies. I mean, not that it will make a difference to anyone who hates all of them, but oh well. I might as well do it. So yeah, but yeah, that's my review of Transformers 4. What do you think? Comment down below, let me know. Subscribe if you haven't already. What do you think of Transformers 4? What do you think of any Transformers movie? What's your favourite scene in any of the Transformers movies? Mine's probably the forest fight in Revenge of the Fallen. In terms of Age of Extinction, I can't remember all the fights because there's so many. So yeah, thank you all for watching. As always, I'm Mr. Tyler's 11. See ya.